Hello my friends, it's Rob with MTG Investor, and I'm back to continue my Modern Top 25 investments. Today we're going to look at cards 6 through 10. I want to say thanks to all my friends out there who are subscribing and giving me some good feedback and the likes and the watches. I really appreciate that. I actually just got a Blue Yeti in yesterday, so hopefully my sound will start improving. I'm still learning how to use it and all the settings and whatnot, so this is my first video with it. So hopefully things sound a little bit better, and I'll continue to improve the equipment. And here in the somewhat near future, I'll try to get my face on camera. So if you guys see me out playing at Star City Tourney in May here in Fort Worth, then you can come by and say hi to me. So anyway, let's get going on our cards. As a reminder, these are my opinions only. You must buy, sell, and trade Magic the Gathering cards at your own risk. Number 10. Number 10 is Supreme Verdict. And this card, I'm sure a lot of people have seen. If you've played in the recently, then you know how annoying this card is. Well, it's not really annoying. It's just people, I think, got tired of seeing the blue-white control deck. And probably more annoyed with Sphinx's Revelation than they were Supreme Verdict. But anyway, I played Mono Red, so I didn't like Supreme Verdict. Anyway, I at a stability rating on this guy of about 6. And the reason why I have 6 on it is because I don't foresee it getting a reprint, at least not in a regular set. If they go back to Ravnica, I don't even see it get reprinted then. I think an Uncountable Wrath of God is, I think that's going to see a one-time print, and that's going to be it. When I think about cards related to it, I don't think of Wrath of God so much as I think of Damnation. I think Damnation is a better equivalent to Supreme Verdict than Wrath of God. But anyway, so I don't see it being reprinted, so stability is pretty high. And the thing is, it's not getting a heavy play in Modern, but it is getting a little bit. And I think it's one of those cards that eventually the Modern format could swing in the direction of a Supreme Verdict. Wizards already stated that they want to have Modern be a more heavily creature-oriented format instead of it being really combo-y. There was a time in Old Extended, which is kind of equivalent to Modern, that there was a lot of combo decks, and I don't think they want to get back to that. They want to keep it more creature-heavy. So I think Supreme Verdict has more play in it. And it's getting played as a 1 or 2 of, or some sideboards. It's also getting played a little bit in Legacy here and there. So being uncountable and being able to clear the board is a strong card. So I foresee it popping up in the future index. Now, growth potential I have is 4. It's kind of low because, as I just mentioned, it's not getting a lot of play, and there's a lot of them out there. Blue-white control might not have been the most heavily played deck when Return to Ravnica was available, or in Standard rather, but it is a card that there was a lot of them floating out there because it was a staple of that deck. So it's going to take quite a few. It's going to take quite a bit of influx of new players to absorb all those cards that are kind of floating out there, and so the total on that's a 10. Right now, you can get them for about $3 on eBay. They were actually going for about $3.50 or $4 just like a month ago, and now they're down to $3. And about 2 weeks ago, I bought 2 play sets of them. I got mine for $3.50 a piece. So I think maybe about $3.25 I got mine for. I think I paid $12.99, no shipping. So basically $13 for each playset. And so I think these are pretty solid. I really look at these as kind of like the blue-white Damnation. And I can see these guys going to about 15 at least. Once the new players have absorbed all the extra verdicts that have been sitting out there, then yeah, I can see them 15. Damnation is going for about 40. But I think that was from Planar Chaos, if I remember correctly. No, it was Time Spiral Block. I think it was Planar Chaos, not Future Sight. Anyway, that's a $40 card. And that was not a super heavily played card in standard like Supreme Verdict was. There wasn't as many Damnations out there. I could see a world where Supreme Verdict could get to be 20, 25, even a $30 card. I don't think that's unreasonable, but I'm going to keep my projection kind of low at about 15. When it hits 15, when or if it hits 15, then I'll probably do another evaluation. If I see it's moving pretty steadily, then I'll probably hold on to it, put a new target on it, because honestly, I would like to see this card hit $25 or $30. I think that's fair and reasonable. So anyway, let's take a look at that. We're going to try to shorten this video down. My last video was 40 minutes. I spent so much time talking about Snapcaster Mage. But anyway, let's get on to number 9. Number 9 on my list is Foil Become Immense. And I love Become Immense. I think it's a really good card, and I think it's really primed to be a good investment. Specifically the foil version. The regular version also is a reasonable pickup, but I like to get cards on the cheap that have a lot of potential growth, but I don't want to get them too cheap, because I don't want to waste a lot of time moving just small value cards. Like so, I'll talk about that more in just a second, but let's look at the stability on this guy. Stability on this guy is a 5, and I have it 5 because it's an uncommon, and there's quite a few out there. Is this going to get reprinted ever? I think they're going to try to stay away from Delve for a while. I mean, Delve eventually will make its way back in some form or manner, but I think this is a card that is going to be played in Legacy and Modern, and there's a very slim chance that it could get played in Vintage, but I mean, that's a slim chance, like maybe 1 or 2% chance. But this guy's a staple. He's a staple in a lot of decks. He's a staple in Infect. He's a staple in, like, say, Boggles type deck. He's a staple in the Legacy Infect. There's a lot of decks that have this guy, even if he's just a 1 or 2 or 3 of, because you're basically getting +6/+6 for 1 green mana, and that's pretty dang good. So the growth potential on this guy is really high, I think 9, because any very fast aggro decks are going to use this, because +6/+6 for 1 green, it's the best pump spell out there in all of Magic at this point. So in Infect, they run the can't remember the guy that gives your opponent 4 life to give +4/+4 that's free, but this guy's even better in a sense. So the growth potential is great on this guy. Now I'm talking about foil ones specifically. Right now these are going for about $4 each. I picked up a couple play sets of these about 2 months ago, and I think I got mine, actually I think it was 3 months ago, 3 or 4 months ago actually. It was around Christmas, and I think their foils were only like a couple bucks. They've already doubled in price since then. I think I got a playset for like 8. I think that's right, 8 to 10, somewhere in there. But anyway, these guys are going to be good. Good, solid, uncommon foils. They usually go for about 15. They go anywhere from 12 to 15, all the way up to 25, depending on what they are. All the blue ones are up to the $25 range. I think even the regular versions of these are pretty good. So the regular versions are only 25 cents. And I think in time, and by time I mean it's going to be a while, but in 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years, somewhere in there, the regular versions are going to be a $4 to $6 uncommon, unless they got reprinted in between that time. But I don't see that happening in that time period. So I think these are good, even the basic ones. If you're able to get some of these, just get them as throw-ins and trades and stuff, I think that's a very solid pickup for yourself. So anyway, the return on investment, if you can get them for a quarter and then they go for $4, you're at 1,600% return on investment, is excellent. But again, this is what I mentioned before. I don't like to buy like tons of little cheap cards. There's a few exceptions. I bought 100 regular Delver Secrets about a year ago. for pretty cheap. And I think, how much did I pay for those guys? I can't remember. I'll talk about that one later. But so anyway, full become immense. Get those. They're going to be good long terms, I think. All right, next. This is a shout out to Jonathan Kai. I hope I said that last name right. Who actually in my last video suggested that I take a look at Young Pyromancer, and unbeknownst to him, Young Pyromancer was already on my final top 10 list. So good job on that call out, Jonathan. Anyway, number 8 is Young Pyromancer, and this guy has tons of potential. He's a 4 in stability, and the reason why is because he's in a core set, so there's a reasonable chance that you could see him reprinted in the near future. So he's one of those cards that could show up in a basic expansion set, and so 4 on him, just because I think reprint possibility is pretty high on this guy. Now the growth on this guy is through the roof. He's 9 out of 10, and he's played in Modern, and he has also played in Legacy. So his growth is really high. He's out of print, and I think this is the perfect time to get these. Right now, these are $250 a pop for the regular version of him, and I see this card. I have 12 on here. That's super conservative. Well, I'm sorry, not for them. I'm thinking full for a second there, but for the regular version, I could see him easily going to 12. He's only been in one set at this point. If it gets reprinted, that's going to distort these numbers, but I think he's worth taking a chance on. I picked up a couple playsets of this guy about 3 months ago, and he was at $250 about 3 months ago. And once these guys are scooped up and there's not a lot of extra surplus of these guys sitting around, then his price is going to start moving. And good uncommons go anywhere from $6 to $8 that have been printed in the printed recently in the last few years. But I think this guy's going to move beyond that, because I think he might be one of the best 1, 2, or 3 uncommons printed in the last 5 years, because there's a heavily Modern and Legacy play. And return on investment on him is pretty high, 380%. And I want to bring up the foils. Foil Young Pyromancer is $40 right now, and on my last video, I think it was the last video or the video before, I talked about how you can look to see the growth potential of a card by comparing its regular price to its foil price, and usually that's a 1 to 2 ratio or a 1 to 3 ratio if it's really good, but this is a 1 to 16 ratio, I believe that is. Say 5 goes in that 8 times, yeah, 1 to 16 ratio. That's crazy high. That tells me that the demand for the full is so high, and it's $40, that the regular version demand is, well, it's not pushed the card up yet. And that's what the point I'm trying to make is that if the foils are $40, then that ratio should be closer. So even at $12 where my projection is, that's a what is that, about 3, and we'll just say 3.33 or something like that, somewhere in there, which should be a more accurate relationship of the regular price to the foil price. $12 to $40 should be more accurate. The foil ones, I think, are probably going to at least get to 60, and I really could see them going for 100. I mean, foil Snapcasters are what, about 150? I think foil Abrupt Decays are about 100 or something like that. So anyway, I could see this guy going $60 to $100 for the foil. I don't want to invest in foil Young Pyromancers personally, just because I don't think there's enough money. I mean, if I'm spending $40 and I'm only getting a $20 return, it's just not a good return to me. So if you have them, hold on to them. Don't get rid of them. They're going to go out more, in my opinion. So anyway, Young Pyromancer, and let's head on to number 7. Number 7, another red card, Eidolon of the Great Revel. Eidolon is a card that its price should start moving pretty quickly. Stability on this guy is 5. I don't think he's going to get reprinted anytime soon, The thing on Eidolon is obviously he's going to be played in a nearly mono red deck, very close to mono red or red that's just splashing something else. So it has a little bit of limit on that. Growth on this guy is a 7. He's going to get picked up, and new players are going to have to pick him up and add him to decks. He's played in Modern, he's played in Legacy. He's really strong. Having his effect on a body is a great attribute. The current price on these guys is about $7, and I think if you're one in on this guy, you need to get him now because he's going to start going up. Mono red is a big thing in Modern. Mono red is a big thing in Legacy right now, and just having that guy down, he really helps shut off a lot of combo decks. Once red gets ahead and you put this guy down, you can close the game out with him. I see so many players, red players, make mistakes playing this guy, playing him too early, and some people don't understand how to play him. They get him down too early, and then they wind up killing themselves essentially with that guy. So, but still, he's a really good card. I can see him going to $25, and I put a $60 in question mark there because he's one of those cards that when I look at him, I think this guy, and he's a $55 card, somewhere in that range. When I think about Eidolon, and I think this guy is better than Eidolon. Better than Fulminator Mage. So I know that's a kind of crazy thing to throw out that he could hit $60, but if you would have told me when Lorwyn block was out that Fulminator Mage would be a $50 card, I would have been very skeptical. Now this was before the SCG and all these big tournament series had popped up, so you can't see into the future, but this guy, he could have the same sort of effect because he's getting played in a lot of different decks. Naya, Burn. Anyway, Eidolon Great Rebel, I think he's a great pickup. I got me a couple play sets. I actually bought them at 7, just what I have here. I got them 28 a play set, free shipping, so exactly $7. I think they're a good investment. Might take 2-3 years, 4 years. If that card keeps moving up like Fulminator Mage did, then just keep hanging on to it. So let's go to number 6, our final card on this video, and that is Abrupt Decay. I just mentioned him a while ago, so maybe you knew that was going to be coming. Stability rating on this guy is 6. I think Abrupt Decay has some decent potential to get reprinted in. Doesn't have to be a Ravnica set. I could see him getting reprinted in a lot of different kind of sets. So he's just a good card. He being uncounterable, he gets played in Modern, he gets played a lot in Legacy, and he gets played in Vintage. And when you see a card that's played across all 3 formats, Modern, Legacy, Vintage, then and Standard too, of course, when he was legal, that has a lot of potential for growth. I have 9 out of 10 here. I reserve 10 really for just out of this world cards. We're going to see only 1 10 on my list, but basically this guy is like a 9.9 to me on growth potential. He's a 15 total. This guy right now is going for 13. His price has started to move, and I really wish I could have got this video to you about 3 or 4 months ago or 6 months ago. I bought playsets of Abrupt Decay. I got mine for 28 a playset, so I got mine for $7. And this was when Return to Ravnica was legal. This was around September 2014, somewhere in there. I bought several playsets of Abrupt Decay and a card that's on my top 5 list. Anyway, like I said, I got them for 7. They're already 14. My money's almost doubled on these guys, which makes me very happy. But this guy has a lot more room to grow. I put a very conservative $25 on there, and I think that is going to be very conservative. As you can see, I have 50 here and with a little question mark because I think this guy has potential to get to be a $50 card. I see this as a kind of a Cryptic Command-esque card, and he's going to be played in more decks than Cryptic Command could. And like I said, Cryptic Command is played in Modern, but you don't see Cryptic Command played in Legacy. I mean, on a rare instance, it might get played in Legacy, but it's not played in Legacy. It's not played in Vintage. Abrupt Decay is. So I really could see this going to $50, and it wouldn't shock me at all if it did. The return on investment is only 92%. But the thing is, I think Abrupt Decay is essentially a can't miss card. You can't miss. It's going to go up. It's going to be a good value card. I can see it easily getting $20-$25. It might take another year to do that, and then I'll just sit and watch. I'll reevaluate when I get to $25. Is it going to go higher? Is it going to go higher? I would say Modern, Legacy, and Vintage playable card is a can't miss. So anyway, that's been my 25. Now as the dog, next door neighbor's dog, starts barking, I hope you can't hear that. But anyway, that's been my 6 through 10 cards for my top Modern investments. And hey, look at that, we're only 22 minutes into the video. But anyway, stay tuned. Hopefully I'll get the next installment out a lot sooner. I've been waiting until my Yeti came in, and it came in yesterday, so we got that going. I appreciate all your likes. I appreciate all your subs. Again, this has been Rob with MTG Investors. Peace out, guys, and happy trading. As a reminder, these are my opinions only. You must buy, sell, and trade Magic the Gathering cards at your own risk.